Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and the beautiful spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. This is the way Steffy obfuscated Finn's rationale on striking and the delightful. Edge looked for reality. During the strong and the lovely, he visited Finn. He needed to realize what truly occurred among him and trust. Edge trusts and supports his little girl. Nonetheless, he was curious as to whether Steffy came to a rash conclusion about Trust's terminating. In the meantime, Steffy wished to push ahead. She doesn't have laments about kicking Desire to the control. Cross-examination time. Edge didn't believe the press should be aware of Trust's. He would have rather not made an outrage, so he needed to find solutions. On Monday's episode, Edge appeared at the Precipice House. Finn was astonished to see him. Edge got some information about what happened that day when Trust arrived on top of him. Finn was completely persuaded that she was in a real sense giving herself wholeheartedly to him. Trust contended that she stumbled over Finn. One of her high heels got found out, yet she wore unmentionables. Set Steffy off that. She promptly terminated her without needing to know more. Figure out what occurs next on BNB. Finn loses his spine. Edge squeezed Finn for replies. Finn conceded that he didn't have the foggiest idea what was going on in Trust's psyche. He just accepted she was hitting on him. Finn let his significant other get to his head. As yet, Finn had his own perspectives. He felt that Trust was the best lady in Los Angeles. He even safeguarded his companionship with her. That all different after Steffy told Finn she didn't need him around Trust any longer. She was unable to trust Ames. Particularly after Trust shakily kissed her better half. Steffy thought she had all the confirmation she expected to show that Trust was after Finn. Who will Edge accept? Nonetheless, she was off base. Unfortunately, Trust was bad at accounting for herself. She might have guaranteed that she was hanging tight for another man. She might have named an irregular man who worked at Forrester Manifestations. Finn tragically ended up at some unacceptable spot and time. Presently, his judgment is obfuscated due to his significant other. This leads us to this inquiry: who will Edge accept? Will he side with Brooke and Trust? Or on the other hand, will he keep on trusting Steffy's variant of the story? If he would rather not cause confusion, he ought to look for reality. The strong and the wonderful recap for included much a greater amount of the Steffy terminating Trust aftermath. In the interim, Elektra dreaded her past would find her. Bill got one more letter from Luna. Furthermore, Carter concocted an arrangement to take over Forrester Manifestations. What occurred in Los Angeles? Look at the everyday synopsis recap of every episode beneath. Steffy, Edge, and Katie talked about the aftermath from terminating expectation for the future and Trust's job at Forrester. Katie accentuated dealing with the press, adjusting her steadfastness to both expectation and Forrester. Steffy couldn't avoid remarking on Katie's Logan ties, yet concurred Forrester's standing started things out. During the gathering, Ivy and Elektra showed up. Everybody was eager to reboot the adornments line. Katie arranged a major declaration including the two ladies, however Elektra wavered, recommending the emphasis stay on Ivy. Steffy demanded the point stay on family, with Ivy and Elektra both addressing Forrester. Afterward, Elektra joined Will at Il Giardino for lunch, where he scrutinized her hesitance to be important for the press occasion. In the meantime, a shadowy figure in a secretive room inspected Elektra's press photograph. Back at Forrester, Steffy and Edge thought about Trust's takeoff and the emphasis on Ivy and Elektra. Steffy trusted her father would keep on supporting her. However, Edge appeared to be clashed about choice. They concurred the Gems line offered a new beginning. In the meantime, Brooke visited Taylor to talk about Trust as well as Taylor's recuperation. However strong of their little girls, strains rose over Taylor's shocking chakra-mending meeting with Edge. Taylor protected the occasion, uncovering its personal effect, passing on Brooke to pose the consuming inquiry about Taylor leaning on her instinct. Does Taylor actually need Edge? Brooke and Taylor discussed the unavoidable issue, now that Taylor's heart was generally recuperated, where does it have a place? Taylor demanded her heart would constantly accompany Edge, yet said she didn't require a man to be content. She had her family, work, and reason. Brooke wasn't persuaded she'd continued on. At Forrester, Edge and Steffy talked about Taylor. Steffy offered thanks for her mother's return, considered Taylor's solidarity in the wake of losing Phoebe and getting through tragedy. Credited Edge for recuperating Taylor's heart, despite the fact that he and Brooke caused a lot of her torment. Edge safeguarded Brooke, however stood firm. Taylor was more grounded now, because of him. In the meantime, Will and Elektra talked at Forrester. Will detected Elektra was keeping down about being one of the essences of the adornments line. She credited it to moving around, however indicated a more profound torment. Will focused on his own injury. His father left his mother for her sister, showing weakness that kept on interfacing them. During a second at the workplace, Elektra attempted to redirect Center onto Ivy, yet got cleared into Katie's arrangements. At the point when she dropped a piece of gems, Will recovered it, rehashing their meet charming. This time, the nearby second prompted a kiss. Brooke and Edge thought about her discussion with Taylor. In the first place, the two ladies talked about Steffy terminating trust unjustifiably and Edge's part in it. Brooke actually felt Edge hadn't treated trust reasonably. Then, talk went to Taylor leaning on her instinct, toward Edge. Edge reminded Brooke he was taken, thinking back about their second in Rome, where he professed to plainly see their future. As they embraced, Edge momentarily looked tangled. Taylor, in the meantime, persuaded Steffy to join her in a recuperating meeting with Chandra. Through breathing activities, thought about her family, including Taylor, Edge, Thomas, and Phoebe. It was a strong snapshot of association and mending. At Forrester, Will and Elektra's kiss was interfered with by Katie, who referenced the photograph shoot, leaving Elektra uncomfortable. Somewhere else, Eric adulated Ivy and Elektra's work on the Gems line and their attendance at the house, however he stressed over Elektra. Ivy guaranteed him she'd be fine, however looked stressed. Afterward, Ivy and Elektra talked about that past, with Ivy promising to safeguard her. In the interim, the secret man was uncovered, holding Elektra's photograph and promising, "You can run, however you can't stow away, Elektra." Back at Forrester, Elektra embraced Ivy, who showed up profoundly stressed. Trust and Carter hung out before he left for work, during which time he proposed opening up to the world about their relationship. Trust excused the thought as a terrible one. At Forrester, Steffy told Edge they appeared to have endured the hardship of terminating Trust Logan, however Edge wasn't persuaded. Steffy conceded she didn't mind who Trust dated, for however long it wasn't her better half, and shared her interests about Trust's effect on Carter. At the point when Carter showed up, he guarded HFTF and proposed thoughts for the organization, yet Steffy and Edge excused him, encouraging him to zero in on his real obligations like the expense/LLC archive. After Carter left, Finn showed up and shared that Minister had gotten some information about Trust, yet he declined, which satisfied her. Back at Trust's, Brooke acknowledged Expectation had certifiable affections for Carter, who she depicted as the all-out bundle. Carter showed up, demoralized by the gathering, and conceded he was unable to alter Steffy and Edge's perspectives on Trust or HFTF, leaving Brooke stunned. After Brooke left, Trust and Carter kissed once more. In the meantime, Steffy, at her PC, erased Trust's profile from the Forrester Manifestation site. This is what's in store this week on BNB. Eric told Edge and Steffy he contradicted their terminating Trust, reminding them she was family. The co-presidents protected their choice and, later, guaranteed Zendathid tracked down a spot for him. Notwithstanding, Steffy expected to quit hearing Expectation's name. All things considered, Trust caused HFTF's destruction. Elektra trusted in Ivy, concerned her mystery could demolish things with Will. She dreaded wouldn't see her the same way. Ivy consoled her, again encouraging to safeguard her. In the meantime, the secretive stalker unfavorably proclaimed, "I'm coming for you, Elektra." Will visited Bill to examine his temporary position with his father. He shared his developing interest in Elektra, uncovering that her last name was Forrester. Afterward, back at Forrester, he had one more second with her. In the interim, when he was distant from everyone else, Bill found one more letter from Lisa Yamada, folded it, and threw it to the side as opposed to consuming it. Somewhere else, Luna was in jail, and she had a slight sneer all over. At Trust's, Carter promised to continue battling for her, contending that HFTF's end had neither rhyme nor reason. He formulated an intense arrangement to take over Forrester Manifestations, utilizing an expense record to lay out another LLC. By marking it, Carter would be the administrator of the LLC. Thus, he would impeccably situate himself as the new president of Forrester. With Trust's support, he marked, and together, they enjoyed their concise victory. However, Edge and Steffy's marks were as yet required. So this was definitely not settled. Here is a definite breakdown of the most recent turns in the striking and the delightful, zeroing in on Steffy's impact over Finn, Trust's aftermath, and the rising pressures that echo through Forrester Manifestations. We should jump into the key advancements that kept fans tense. Edge's visit to Finn this week turned into a vital second in the continuous show, encompassing expectations terminating. Not entirely set in stone to uncover reality, Edge looked for clearness about the occurrence that prompted rash choice. His objective was basic, to safeguard the standing of Forrester Manifestations while staying away from an outrage. However, what he found uncovered the degree of Steffy's personal hold over Finn. Finn conceded he accepted Trust had intentionally given herself wholeheartedly to him, a suspicion energized by Steffy's account. Trust's clarification, that her stagger was a mishap, failed to be noticed. Her undergarments, an unplanned decision, powered weaknesses, pushing her to act without hearing the full story. Finn's faltering unwaveringness featured how profoundly doubt of Trust had obfuscated his once objective judgment. This conflict leaves Edge in a tight spot. Would it be a good idea for him to favor his girl, who acted imprudently however out of dedication, or line up with Brooke and Trust, who accepts Steffy's choice was crooked? Edge's struggle under the surface is tangible as the heaviness of the family show escalates. A sprouting sentiment with shadows. Electra Forrester's past started finding her this week, even as she wound up moved nearer to Will Spencer. Their developing bond was set apart by weakness, with Will focusing on his family's convoluted history and Electra alluding to insider facts she couldn't yet share. Notwithstanding, a shadowy figure from her past weaving machines, a layer of tension. At Il Giardino, Will's responsiveness and appeal radiated through, finishing in a delicate kiss that alluded to the chance of a more profound association. However, Electra's hesitance to completely embrace her job in the adornments line and her disquiet about her past propose that inconvenience is not too far off. Brooke and Taylor's loaded powerful restored for this present week as they talked about Trust, Steffy, and their persevering through association with Edge. Taylor's endeavors to zero in on self-recuperating were compared against Brooke's doubt about her ex-opponent's actual sentiments. Taylor demanded she was content without Edge, however Brooke's examining questions alluded to unsettled feelings. Their pressure arrived at new levels when Brooke blamed Taylor for utilizing chakra recuperating as a pretense to reconnect with Edge inwardly. In the meantime, Steffy joined Taylor in a snapshot of reflection, reviewing their family's battles and wins. The close-to-home holding highlighted the Forrester lady's strength, even as Steffy kept on wrestling with the aftermath of her choices. Carter Walton arose as an amazing partner for Trust this week. Disappointed by Steffy and Edge's excusal of expectation for the future, HFTF, Carter contrived a daring intent to get his and Trust's situations at Forrester Manifestations. By utilizing an ignored expense report, Carter endeavored to lay out another LLC, situating himself as the chief and allowing Trust a battling opportunity to resuscitate her line. Their organization indicated a growing sentiment, with Trust offering thanks and profound respect for Carter's faithful help. Be that as it may, Steffy's carefulness about Trust's impact on Carter adds one more layer of intricacy. With Edge Steffy's marks actually required, Carter and Trust's triumph is nowhere near ensured. The week's interest topped with the presentation of Electra's baffling stalker. Holding her press photograph and articulating unpropitious words like, "You can run, however you can't stow away," the shadowy figure indicated dull privileged insights yet to be uncovered. Elektra's admissions to Ivy about her feelings of dread and her past propose a storyline that could disentangle her painstakingly developed life. Ivy's guarantee to safeguard Elektra adds a close-to-home load to this subplot, as watchers estimate about the stalker's character and intentions. Edge and Steffy, the epic showdown at Forrester Edge, and kept on exploring the aftermath of terminating trust, with Eric Forrester communicating his objection. Eric's update that trust is family didn't influence the co-presidents, who stayed unflinching in their choice. Edge, be that as it may, gave indications of uncertainty, considering the possible ramifications for the privately run company. Steffy's demand that Forrester manifestations center around the adornments line, drove by Ivy and Elektra, flagged her longing to push ahead, even as she kept on erasing hints of trust's presence from the organization's set of experiences. This determined move highlights Steffy's assurance to safeguard her situation and her family's inheritance. Brooke and Edge shared a strong second as they pondered ongoing occasions. Brooke's faithful help for trust conflicted with Edge's inner turmoil over his dependability to Steffy. Their discussion alluded to unsettled sentiments, especially as Edge thought back about their time in Rome and the lucidity he accepted he had tracked down there. The embrace they shared conveyed a propensity of strain, leaving watchers contemplating whether their association could reignite notwithstanding the deterrents in their way. As the week closed, unsettled questions posed a potential threat. Will Edge uncover reality with regards to trust's terminating? Might Elektra at any point get away from her strange stalker's grip? Also, will Carter's strong arrangement to take over Forrester manifestations succeed, or will it lead to additional mayhem? With collusions moving and insider facts unwinding, 1 week from now guarantees much more show, interest, and close-to-home stakes. Remain tuned as the adventure of the intense and the lovely keeps on charming crowds.